I am so glad to be here. My name is Chesley. Chesley. Why do you call me Chelsea? Some people call you Chelsea because they just get the L in front of the S, and well, we're gonna get that straightened out. My name is Chesley, not Chelsea. Ches. Okay, I tell you what I did today, just so we could help people get that right, because I knew it was bothering you. So what I did, I put a capital S in there. A capital C, and then A-G, and then a capital S-L-E-Y. Oh, good. Now that gets the message. Chesley and Demosthenes. Chesley Demosthenes. Because great orator. Well, Demosthenes was a great orator. Well, I am too, because see, I'm following him. Well, okay, you're going to follow his example. Okay, but Chesley, aren't we glad today this is Sunday? And this means we have to tell our story. I'm going to tell about Naaman. We're going to tell about Naaman. Yes, we are. Well, are we glad to see everybody today? I can't see them. Oh, well, we know they're out there. So we just see them. And so it's imagination. Or you're supposed to imagination. All right. Yes, we know they're there. And we're glad they're there. And so we say welcome to hear this story today. Okay, now, are my eyes working? Yes, your eyes are working. Do I look handsome? You look handsome. Everything is good. So let's just make sure that you're ready to start your story. Okay, I'm ready. Are you ready? I'm ready. I'm ready to go. So, Chesley, in the book of 2 Kings, chapter 5, there was this, he was a general. He was a general, and he was really he was a brave general. And so the king loved him. You better believe it. Did he have the ribbons? I'm sure he had all these military ribbons. He had no telling what all. He was highly honored. And so the king just really loved him. Oh, the king thought he was just great. He thought he was just a great general. But you know what? You know what? He had a secret. He had a dreadful disease. You know what did he have? He had leprosy. He was a leper. Oh, he had spots on him? No, he didn't have spots on him. Is he a leper? No, he's not a leopard. He was a leper. It was a dread disease that before it was over with, it would just eat away until finally a person died. I think it's almost. And how did he hide it? I think it was on his clothes. He made sure he wore his clothes. He always had long sleeves. He always had everything on that was covered. And it wasn't on his face. I don't know that it was on his face. Doesn't mention it. But in Israel, the people they had to cry out, unclean, unclean. They didn't take it then. Oh yeah, they took baths, but it would just mean that you didn't want to get around it because it was a contagious disease. What does that mean? It's going to jump on you? Well, it wouldn't jump on you, but if you got close to somebody and actually rubbed against them, you had the possibility of getting that horrible disease. I think that's just terrible. Oh, so now, what's going to happen to him? Is he going to die? Well, probably he is going to die if he doesn't get something done. And who's going to help him? There was no one to help him. They didn't know that there was a one true God. They didn't know about him, that he could actually bring healing. And so what's going to do now? What's going to happen to him? Oh, I don't even want to hear it. Oh, you do want to hear it. There was a girl that had been taken captive. And what does she have to do with it? Is she going to marry him? No, Chesley, no. But she worked for this woman. And this little girl said to the woman one day, said, did you know what? And said, where I'm from, said, there is a prophet. Said, God uses his prophet. The one true God uses prophets. And said, he can heal. He said, actually, healing can come. He could help him. He would be cured. No, this is a miracle. She better spread the word. Hurry up, girl. Go do something. She didn't have the authority that she could actually go to the king. What about this lady she works for? That's what happened. The lady she worked for, she got word quickly to the king and said, guess what? Guess what? It's a miracle. It's a miracle, said my servant girl, she knows this to be true. Oh, nice. So this is now he's going to get healed. Well, so what happened when the word got to the king? Well, he said, oh my. He said, we're going to have to get a letter to the king there, and so he can come and I'm going to send Naaman to him. Oh, nice. It's just wonderful. I just can't wait. Well, it wasn't so great when the king got it over there. He looked at that letter, and oh my. I tell you what, and so Naaman, he probably began to get excited, thinking, is it possible? I didn't think there was a cure. That it is the one true God. But remember, he doesn't know the one true God. But this may be some hope for him. Well, what happened when they went and the king looked at this letter? He looked at that letter and he said, he's trying to start a fight. Well, why did he say that? because he couldn't. He said, I can't heal leprosy. I can't do it. He's just wanting to pick a fight. And he's going to hear the war, and he's going to hear, it's a trick. I know what it is. It's a trick. How is it a trick? Well, because now here's this naughty general, and he's going to come over there and kill him. Well, that wasn't the plan. Now, you can let your imagination run away with itself, but when word got to the king there in Israel, he said, I don't know what I'm going to do. This is just awful. Somebody said to him, you know what, king? He said, you could just, Elisha, the prophet. Oh, I know him. And he used to follow around Elijah. He followed Elijah, and God was using him even twice more than he did Elijah. So what happened was Elisha sent word and said, send him down here. When he found out about it, he said, just send him down here. And that guy said, come on, let's get on our camel and ride. Well, away they went, whether it's on camels or whatever, away they went down there. And when they got to the prophet's house, Elisha, he didn't even come out. And how rude is that? Well, you know what? This man, Naaman, he needed to know something about the one true God. And he needed to know that it was God that did the healing. It wasn't Elisha. And so Elisha didn't even come out. He sent a servant out. No, I don't think that's very nice. Chesley, he was not being rude. He needed this man to know that I'm not going to take any credit for doing healing. Healing comes from the Lord. He's the one that works the miracles. And he said, the servant said, Elisha said, if you'll go dip in the river Jordan 7 times, you'll be healed. You'll be totally cured. Doesn't make sense to me. It maybe doesn't make sense, but that was what God said. And what makes sense is doing what God says, because he tells us what is the truth. Well, this man was so angry. He said, I can't imagine that he didn't even come out and talk to me. I think he's right. Well, you may think he's right, but he really wasn't. But we can understand how Naaman felt, because he thought, I'm a mighty general. Why, people flock to see me. Why, why, he said, the king, he cast me in his court. He asked me to come in, and I can't imagine how I'm being treated. I tell you something. I think what he did, he just run away. He did. He just left. He said, I'm just going to get out of this place. I'm going to be treated with such disrespect. But one of his servants said, what did he tell him? He said to him, you know what? If they asked you to do some big mighty thing, you would do it, wouldn't you? Well, he said, I surely would, because it would make him feel important. He would feel very important, and he would get credit, and they would give him cheers. Yeah, they would do all of those things. And he said, well, are you flirting with the girls? Yes, Nan, did you not know it? Oh, yes. Well, I should have known that's just who you are. But anyway, Chesley, it was really an amazing thing of how that when he was asked, what if he asked you to do a little simple thing, like what? Dip in the river Jordan 7 times. And what did he say? Well, he got to thinking about it, and then he said, the Jordan River was a very filthy river. It was just nasty. And he said, it makes no sense. I'm going to dip in that nasty earth. That was his thought, really. And he said, well, back in my country, we got clean water. That's where I'm going. Dipping in that won't work, because you had to do what God said, follow his directions. Oh, I tell you what, you know what I think I'd do? What would you do? I mean, it's just your only hope for your healing is that if you can go dip in that river Jordan, you can't dip in another one. Why didn't have to do that? It was that way because we just do what God says. Okay, so he said, well, they could go back. And so they went, and he dipped in that river. And here it was down one time, and he said, oh, I don't want this slimy water. Oh, it's just nasty. And he wasn't healed. He wasn't healed, but he had to do it 7 times. 7 nasty times. 7 times he still had it. But did he dip real quick? I don't know, Chesley, if he dipped really quick, or if he dipped one time and looked to see. Maybe he thought it would gradually go away. Maybe that was the deal. But I know this, he kept dipping. And then went down to the river to dip. Then he went down to the river to dip. Then he went down to the river to dip. Then he dipped, 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 then he dipped. Anyway, 7 times. And when he dipped that 7th time, he come up and he was healed. That's right, he was healed. Bob said his skin was like that of a child. It was just like, it's real smooth. And it's just pretty. It was very smooth. It was pretty. And it smelled good. Well, babies usually smell good, and it is in nasty water. Well, Chesley, we don't care about the smell. What he cared was he had no leprosy. Now he didn't have to hide. He didn't have to hide his flesh. People see his arms or wherever all of this disease was. He was healed. He was made whole. Oh, nine, he began to sing praises to God. He was praising the Lord, and now he was ready to go back. I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you. And you know why this happened? Because he did what he's supposed to do. He just obeyed the Lord, and it worked. And he went back, and this time, here came Elisha out. When he came this time, you better believe he did. This man was changed now. And now, Naaman was just... He was awed, not about with the prophet, but with what God had done. He was so grateful and so thankful. And he knew this man had not done it, because they'd made it. Naaman didn't come out and do, remember that Elisha didn't come out and do anything. I mean, he didn't lay his hands on him, so he knew he didn't want to get any credit. He wanted to go to God. And so that's what Naaman did. He gave praise to the Lord for what had happened. But he did want to give him a thank you gift for even telling him, giving him the instruction of what to do. And so Elisha said, "It's a deal." No, he didn't. He said, "No, I don't want anything at all." He wanted him to worship the Lord. You know, Chesley, sometimes we get to thinking that, we want to do it our way. Some of the things, when we read the Bible and we have an instruction from the Lord, or even from parents, you have an instruction. What's the best thing to do? What these things, are you going to get yourself in some trouble? Well, for sure we want to honor the Lord, that's sure, and our parents. But God is the number one. We look to him and we honor and we praise him. I'm thankful, Lord, that the Lord helps us and he gives us direction from his word. And what about that little girl? That little girl, I believe the Lord would reward that little girl because she did what she could. She was a little prison girl. She had been captured and brought there. And you know what? She could have said, "I know the answer, but I'm not going to tell him." She could have. She could have been like that and said, "Well, I know a God can help him, but I'm not going to tell him." But no, she shared the truth because she loved and she cared. That's just the way God is. He loves and he cares. And right now, because I love and I care for you, I'm going to let you get plenty of sleep. I am not sleepy. I want to flirt with the girls. Well, you're not going to be flirting anymore with the girls till next Sunday. But right now, you're going to say goodbye. You love everybody. I don't want to say it. But Chesley, you're going to say it. I know, because you're pulling the strings. Okay, that is right. You have a great rest of the day and rest of the week. And we are Wholesome Communication. I'm Karen Clymer. And I'm Chesley. Okay, I gotta go, but I don't want to. We know you don't want to. And we'll see everybody next time. Goodbye. Be blessed.